This is the beautifully dark world of Minoria. Minoria is a 2.5D Metroidvania developed by Bomb Service, the people behind the Momodora series. You take the role of Sister Samilia, who was accompanied by Sister Anfran, both of whom are missionaries from the church. They set out on their journey to stop the witch's ceremony. But of course, as per usual, things aren't what they seem to be. Minoria is fairly similar to the Momodora series, including the somewhat Soulsbornian take on lore and story. Throughout the world, you'll find plenty of lore bits to explore. Little lore bits that not only give you information pertinent to the actual journey at hand, it also gives you insights as to other people in the world that aren't necessarily a part of the main game itself. These sort of lore collectibles are always nice additions to games. Now let's talk exploration. For fans of the Metroidvania genre, the game doesn't really have too much backtracking, nor do you unlock that many mobility abilities. To be fair, there is some backtracking, but not nearly as much as the average Metroidvania in my opinion. A lot of areas in the games are gated off using keys rather than abilities. There are also hidden rooms in the game as well. The only issue I could see is that this game has no map whatsoever. No in-game map and no in-game mapping tools either, so you either have to remember where you need to go or perhaps trial and error. I do think exploration is weaker here compared to most Metroidvanias, but of course, this is a more combat-oriented Metroidvania. You have multiple different options during combat. You have attacks, dodges, parries, and you have access to instances, which are your magical items. You start out with one instance, the ability to heal yourself, but as you progress through the game, you can find more and more instances, many of which are either long-range attacks or special buffs. You do unlock new weapons. They're more like stat upgrades than actual truly new weapons. A few weapons do have unique movesets though. The game has multiple different bosses you can fight, each with their own unique strategy and stakes in the story, many of which will completely obliterate you if you're not careful. Additionally, beating a boss without taking a hit will give you an additional optional reward as well, so there is an incentive to master the boss fights. I do quite like Minoria, but it is a bit on the short side. I do wish there was more of an emphasis on platforming and exploration, and more meaningful upgrades such as mobility upgrades. But I do think this is a short and sweet Metroidvania. But to be fair though, the game itself is only like $20. Obligatory Steam Deck section. The game is Steam Deck verified, and it runs perfectly, and it barely uses any power. There's practically never a time where it dips below 60 FPS. I didn't even have to change graphical details. What more could you want? If you like high-tech lowlife, you should check out the rest of my channel. And if you like the rest of my channel, you should like, subscribe, and spread the good gospel of high-tech lowlife. Furthermore, we have a community Discord server. There's a link in the description down below. Check us out.